What is up YouTube, James Baek here, welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Back Battles. Today we are going to be using the Zekrom and Reshiram team once again with Tapu Fini, Kartana, Heatran, and Hitmontop as partners. This team is still a little bit strange, but yeah, we're going to be trying and hopefully learning a little bit more as we play along. But yeah, otherwise, if you do want to see a QR code, 175 likes is the like goal for this video, as well as all the previous episodes and future videos that we do have with Zekrom and Reshiram in. But anyway, I think that is pretty much it. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, I highly recommend go check it out. Otherwise, let's just get started and play some games. So, I don't know, I feel like Zekrom and Reshiram is really cool. Again, I feel like if they were base 100 speed, then they would actually be pretty good. They would be pretty good. They're kind of like average. Zekrom might be a little bit better, but yeah, we got our first opponent in Ariana from Italy, 1612 rating. Dialga, Kyogre, Lurantis, Tapu Koko, Crobat, and Incineroar. Okay, so what I like right away, I think, is that Zekrom does really well against my opponent's team. And yeah, I think if I get Zekrom with the Soak, I feel like that's pretty good. I don't see Reshiram doing too much work against my opponent, unfortunately. It only really hits one Pokemon in the Lurantis, and in rain it's not really going to do that much. So I think Reshiram's going to stay in the back burner. So let's see, I'm thinking maybe just lead the Tapu Fini plus the Zekrom so I can get the Soak combination right away. Is Heatran worth bringing? Probably not. I like Kartana a bit more because it's pretty good. But then again, Heatran could actually be decent because of the fact it can hit Koko, Wall, Dialga basically. Unless it has Earth Power though, so yeah. And since Earth Power is actually pretty common, yeah, let's not do that. Let's go Zekrom, Tapu Fini with Hitmontop and Kartana in the back. We'll see how this goes. Not going to bring one of my restricted Pokemon. If I would assume what my opponent brings here, Kyogre or Dialga for certain. The back two, I don't think you're bringing Lurantis against me. I think maybe like Tapu Koko, just so you can hit my Fini, and then maybe Incineroar, because Incineroar is just a really good Pokemon overall, especially since it can help against the Kartana. So we'll lead the Tapu Fini plus the Zekrom here against my opponents, Incineroar, Dialga. So no surprise that these two are the combination leads that we are going to see from my opponent. So we'll set up the Misty Surge, and yeah, this is probably just going to be a fake out right away. I would imagine it's a fake out plus a Trick Room. I really couldn't see any other reason. I kind of sometimes wish I had Heal Pulse on top of Fini, but you know, since I do have Roost on Zekrom, it's not necessary, and plus I don't really have the free move slot. So I think we'll just go for a lot of damage in Incineroar right off the bat, and we'll go for the +1 with Zekrom, because he'll probably just fake out my Fini, I would imagine, to prevent a taunt. But we're actually going to see the target in the Zekrom. Okay, so I am able to get Swagger off, which isn't too bad of a spot, realistically, because of the fact I will be able to get a +1 Zekrom. And, you know, that Incineroar slot, I don't think anything really wants to take a +1 Fusion Bolt right off the bat. So we'll see how this turn goes. I think you might double up my Zekrom this turn, or you might just go for, like, I don't know, knock off in the Tapu Fini, I would imagine. So I think just going Hitmontop here is a pretty okay play, because if we go for the knockoff, my eject button does a proc and I have my fake out, and if we double up my Zekrom slot, I'm just going to be able to fake out the Dialga and go for a Bolt Strike into the Incineroar the following turn. So let's see what my opponent's going to do here, as I will protect Zekrom, and Hitmontop gets that Intimidate off into the Incineroar. Let's see, it's going to be the knockoff coming out into the Zekrom slot, and a Earth Power into the Zekrom slot. So Earth Power means either, actually I don't know, Dragon Pulse. I feel like Dragon Pulse would do, actually no, Earth Power would do a little bit more if you do have it. I'm assuming Earth Power Dragon Pulse. Could be Earth Power Flash Cannon, but I would assume it. I'm just going to go for the Bolt Strike, because if we knock off my Magnet, I think I'm in an okay spot regardless. I am going to go for the fake out into Dialga, because once I get rid of Incineroar, I feel pretty comfortable about my position, because I don't think knockoff's going to do too much to Zekrom at -1. And I'm going to get a lot of damage, as Incineroar is actually going to switch out here into the Lurantis. So that Pokemon are really not appreciating this Fusion Bolt we're going to give this here. So we're going to get a fake out in a Dialga, as well as a, well, not Fusion Bolt, Bolt Strike. I confuse these moves sometimes. So Bolt Strike in a Lurantis at +1. Oh man, that does so much damage at +1. Well, proc a Berry though, so Okay. I could see superpower into... I think it's superpower into Hitmontop and a Earth Power into Zekrom. That's what I would imagine. Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Because if you double my Zekrom, I could easily just switch out, and I don't think there's a point of my opponent making that play. Yeah, so we'll go for the Helping Hand Bolt Strike, because I feel like me protecting is just so obvious here. So I think I'm just going to try to get the knockout with my Zekrom right here into Lurantis, because this should knock out the Lurantis, even if it gets a boost. Superpower going to come out, does target down the Hitmontop slot, no surprise there. Will proc my eject button, does get a bit of a boost, but no shockers. We will switch out Hitmontop here. Go out into my, I think I just go out into my Tapu Fini as always. I could also go Kartana here, because you're not going to like flamethrower that slot or anything, but just so I don't reveal anything, just go out into Fini. I also can soak the following turn into that Dialga slot, so no big deal. As Earth Power going to come out, that shouldn't knock out my Zekrom. Yeah, actually barely, because it's Life Orb Dialga. Wow. Huh. Okay, never seen that one before. Bolt Strike does come out. Does knock out the Lurantis, so that's a pretty good turn for me, I think. Wow, Life Orb Dialga. Usually they tend to run like Safety Goggles or Bulky Berry. That's the first time I've ever seen like a Life Orb one. I've seen Specs, but I've never seen a Life Orb one. Okay. I think that works out for me. If Incineroar comes out, I'll protect my Zekrom here, and then I'll go for like a probably... Well, Kyra's gonna come in. Okay. Kyogre coming in is fine. I can go for the Protect here. And an Icy Wind, just in case this is like a random Scarf on the Kyogre, because I don't think you're doubling up Fini to knock it out. I'm not even sure if Earth Power... Well, Earth Power into Thunderbolt, if it's Life Orb Dialga, probably does knock out. But I'd get a free switch and Hitmontop, and then I could fake out the Dialga, go for Fusion Bolt into the Kyogre. I guess maybe a good play my opponent can make is doubling out the Kyogre. Ooh, my opponent does make that play. Very nicely played, actually. Incineroar is going to come in for my opponent. Really, really solid play there. Really solid play there. I should have probably capitalized that, but how do I capitalize off that? Because you're probably still Earth Power in the Zekrom slot no matter what, I would imagine. I had no reason to really protect the Fini. Oh, you actually Flash Cannon the Fini. Okay. Very nicely played from my opponent here. I kind of wish I had an attacking move in the Fini. This is like the one issue of running a more offensive Fini, as we will get a Icy Wind off, which might hurt me because Hitmontop might have been slower than Dialga, but again, I don't know the items. If I can get rid of Incineroar, I feel like I do have a good chance of winning this game. I feel like you fake out the Zekrom here, but you might not. I think I'm just going to go Hitmontop here, and you know what? I think the best play is to attempt to Swagger the Dialga, because if I can deny Trick Room, that's amazing for me, and it gives me some confusion rolls. So yeah, that was a really, really nice play from my opponent. I cannot stress that. I can't... it kind of frustrates me that I thought about that right after I gotta slow down my moves, but let's go Hitmontop here. We'll Swagger to Dialga. We'll go for some chances right here, because if I deny Trick Room, I'm feeling pretty good about Kartana winning this game. Yeah, I'm feeling very good about Kartana winning this game. We're going to see the fake out into the Hitmontop, as we will get a Swagger off into the Dialga. So let's see if it hits itself. Close combat is very, very good into that slot. Kind of wish I had Heal Pulse, because I could also just Heal Pulse my Hitmontop instead of going for this. It does hit itself, so that's really good actually. That is really good. And now I can go for a close combat into Dialga. And I could Icy Wind. I could also double out into Zekrom or Kartana. Because I feel like, if anything, your Incineroar wouldn't want to stay in against these Pokemon. I think I'm going to go Zekrom here in close combat to Dialga, because I could see Incineroar switching out into the Kyogre, for instance. And I think you try to attempt to protect Dialga here, because I think you're forced to. That Swagger, really lucky. It ends up working out for me. I will withdraw the Tapu Fini, get the Misty Surge back up for later in the game, because I can sell Swagger all my Mons. So we'll bring out Zekrom, Teravolt. As Dialga going to stay in, let's see what it does. It's going to go hit itself again, so that's really unfortunate for my opponent, as we will get a close combat off. That's going to do a lot of damage to that Dialga. It does pick up the knockout actually, so really nice there. unfortunate for my opponent hitting 2 times in a row. I don't think I would have minded though if it didn't hit itself, because let's see what the Incineroar went for. It went for a U-turn, so that would have been okay by me, I think. Especially if it was in the Hitmontop slot. Kyogre was threatened as well as the Dialga. And I think at next turn I could have forced a double target into like the... I could have either went for the Bolt Strike in the Kyogre slot, get a lot of damage off, and like maybe Bolt Strike close combat to pick up a knockout on that slot, or I could have doubled up the Dialga slot, which is probably more likely, but it just depends on this Kyogre speed tier. Incineroar's going to come out. And I might as well just go Fini here. Yeah, might as well just go Fini. You're definitely going to go for a water move and fake out, it's because that's your only chance realistically. So I'll just go out on a Fini here. And by going out into Fini, I feel like this mitigates a lot of the things that could go wrong with what I've been doing. So I can go out into Kartana in the future. Like basically Kartana's going to win as long as I get some chip into the Incineroar, which is what I'm going for. We'll bring out the Tapu Fini. I could self-swagger Roost here, my Zekrom, which wouldn't be that bad, but I'm not going to risk crits. I will protect my Zekrom here. Let's see if Kyogre has anything that can screw me over. It is going to be the fake out into Zekrom like you're forced to, and a water type move. Ice Beam. Okay. So my opponent can't freeze me no matter what. I can go for a Icy Wind now. I kind of want to go for... I get Bolt Strike. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what's the best option. I could Fusion Bolt the Incineroar because I could put in Soak Leaf Blade range, which is actually really tempting here, actually. Since Incineroars don't usually carry Protect. I'll Protect Fini and go for the Fusion Bolt into the Incineroar, because then I could Soak Leaf Blade the Incineroar the following turn, and if Kyogre protects, or it doesn't protect, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm going to lose Zekrom this turn no matter what here. Yeah, Kyogre is going to protect, that's fine. I realistically am going to go for the Fusion Bolt into the Incineroar. And that's going to get me some nice chip. Swagger into Bolt Strike could have knocked out the Incineroar, but I don't need to risk that. Wow, that actually did a lot of damage. Knockoff going to come out on the Zekrom. We'll finish off the Zekrom, get rid of my Magnet, but now I can bring out my Kartana. And you know what I'm going for? Soak Leaf Blade. Soak Leaf Blade. I don't have to risk Sacred Sword here. And I might as well just show off the Soak because, you know. And I'll live any hit from Kyogre unless it's like a random... I guess it'd have to be like really random Hidden Power Fire set. That's the only way I can think of. So I'll Soak and I'll Leaf Blade. I did EV this Tapu Fini to be really fast and this Kartana to be slower. As Kyogre going to go for the double fails, as we do go for the Soak here into the Incineroar and Leaf Blade. I'm pretty sure Sacred Sword could have picked up the knockout, but you know, just something you don't want to really risk if you don't have to, because you know Soak Leaf Blade will definitely KO the Incineroar. So go for it. Get the Beast Boost, and that is game. In fact, I can get a +3 Kartana by swaggering myself, going for a Leaf Blade. Yeah, so really just the defining turn was being able to, you know, get that first confusion off in Dialga. The second one was a bit unfortunate, but I feel like I could have still won without it, because I could have forced a really good spot for me where my opponent loses a Mon immediately. So yeah, I don't feel too bad about it as Leaf Blade does come out into Kyogre. I guess... because I'm thinking maybe Kyogre could have switched out an Incineroar if Dialga didn't get confused on the Protect. So I could have got a lot of damage off. I could have went for a Bolt Strike into the Kyogre slot and a close combat. I don't think it matters if you switch in Incineroar for Dialga because of the fact that -1 Bolt Strike with Magnet. I think I still knock out the Kyogre either way. So I don't think that would have mattered. So if my opponent made that play, that would have probably been an instant loss as long as I hit. But yeah, I went for Swagger. I think that was a really good play by going Kyogre, then going Instant. That was like a really solid play from my opponent's part. Like, I cannot stress about how good that play was. I probably should have capitalized off that because I did realize it afterward. After I clicked my moves in. So probably should have realized that. I feel like if I did predict that, or realized it sooner, I could have made a different play and it could have just 100% went uphill for me immediately right off the bat. So yeah, otherwise yeah, Zekrom putting in some work. The Soak Swagger stuff is really coming in handy, And yeah, people might be wondering why am I running the slow Kartana. It is for the Fini So combination, and I don't really like Choice Scarf Fini in this format. I feel like the bulk is kind of necessary because I don't know. I just don't feel like the Fini is beating down like, or I feel like Fini should still take hits in this format because Kyogre Water Spout's still doing a massive amount of damage. I think it's a 2 KO on if you're a Scarf variant. So yeah, I really just don't like how that sounds. I'd rather run a more bulkier Fini, and I didn't plan on running offensive moves on the Fini, so there's really no reason to run Choice Scarf. I really like the Cell Swagger. I really like the Soak option. So yeah, as we find our next opponent, 1425 rating, but still a really solid team in my opinion. Muck is interesting. We're going to see the Kyogre, the Raichu, the Incineroar, the Yveltal, the Tapu Fini, and the Muck. So what's really good here is my Zekrom because of the fact that Zekrom's Bolt Strike is going to do a lot of damage to my opponent's team. And if people don't know, Teravolt basically works like Mold Breaker, so it ignores abilities like Lightning Rod, so it can ignore the Raichu's Lightning Rod. So that's really handy. Hitmontops are really good in this matchup. Fake Out's really good. I think I actually just want to lead Zekrom plus Hitmontop. I really just don't see a reason not to. Kartana could be decent in this game. I'm actually leaning towards the Reshiram just because Tailwind could be really handy in this matchup. I think I will go Reshiram, and then I could go like Fusion Flare, Fusion Bolt for extra damage because that's gonna do a lot. It also hits the Bulu and doesn't really worry about hitting, you know, getting hit by a superpower. Although Stone Edge, I guess, could be a thing. And Tapu Fini in the back because Tapu Fini with the Swagger could help a lot, as well as changing to terrain from Bulu. Although I think Bulu's terrain could help me because it would be healing my Zekrom consistently, which would be really nice there. I think overall that this matchup is just going to be positioning Zekrom really well, and I think with Tailwind and Fake Out support, that's what I'm going to be aiming for. So Zekrom, I'm going to be putting in a lot of work in this episode, I feel like. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring. That was a really long first game for our first game, so but then again, it was against a Trick Room Dialga team. So we got Zekrom plus Hitmontop here. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring out. It is going to be Yveltal Incineroar. Alright. So Yveltal's Dark Roar is going to activate. It is faster, Teravolt, and then Intimidates. We get to find out, oh wow, that Incineroar runs a lot of speed. That Incineroar runs a ton of speed. Okay, with that Yveltal running a ton of speed, it's a bit questionable for me. I think I'll just go Tapu Fini here and fake out the Yveltal. We're either going to exchange fake outs, or if he fakes out my Hitmontop, I just get a free switching back to Zekrom, which I think works for me. So I'll just go for the fake out into Yveltal and switch into Fini because I think Fini with Icy Wind support is going to be really handy in this matchup. So really it's just me getting the speed control around my opponent's team and Zekrom sweeping. That's basically what I'm aiming for. We're going to see the fake out come out into the Zekrom slot. Gets a crit, which is, you know, a little bit unfortunate, as I think we're going to be losing our barrier to knockoff eventually. So yeah, we'll go for the Icy Wind here, and I mean, I realistically don't expect Hitmontop staying around alive that much. I think I'm just going to close combat the Incineroar though, because if I get damage on Incineroar, I can't come in on a Bolt Strike, as we are going to see the switch out. That might be the Bulu. It's actually Kyogre, so Kyogre is not really appreciating a close combat, and if we had the Icy Wind, that's pretty good too, especially if this Yveltal doesn't carry something like a Tailwind. It's going to be a Sky Drop actually. Okay. That's interesting. We will get an Icy Wind off into the Kyogre at least. Alright. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So I think we just go for Icy Wind into the Kyogre slot, and we go for a close combat into the, I guess, the Kyogre slot as well. The problem is I feel like Sky Drop into Water Spout at -1 is still going to knock me out anyway. And I guess I could have maybe went for Helping Hand to negate it. Actually, does this activate my... Okay, that's actually pretty good. I forgot that Sky Drop does activate my eject button, which is cool. Life Orb Yveltal, no surprise there. We'll bring out the Zekrom, and then we can start going for Fusion Bolt. So we'll bring out Zekrom here. I need to land the Icy Wind at least on the Yveltal, as Water Spout is going to come out. Is it still? Oh, it's Timid Choice Scarf on the. Okay, so it's Timid Choice Scarf on the Kyogre. That's good to know. How do I know that? It's because my opponent revealed it by outspeeding my Tapu Fini even after the icy wind. So, okay, we can go for the Swagger here, and I think we just go for a Fusion Bolt into the Yveltal. I guess Incineroar and a Protect is a play, but then I could just go out in my Hitmontop once again and protect Zekrom the following turn. And I don't think this Yveltal carries Tailwind if it has Sky Drop, so we'll see how this comes out. We're going to see the switch out into the Raichu. Oh, my opponent doesn't know how abilities work. We will go for the Protect here. I mean, we'll go for the Swagger here, and we'll knock out the Yveltal, which is probably the biggest damage dealer to my team, so that really works out for me. As we will get a Fusion Bolt into the Yveltal, and Yveltal will go down. So, getting rid of a big threat. This game's not over by far. At least no Bulu in this game, so I don't have to worry about preserving like him on top for the Intimidate. Fake Out Pressure's nice though. We're gonna actually see the Incineroar come out. +1 Bolt Strike will knock you out. And we'll go for Icy Wind. Yeah, we'll go for Icy Wind. And we'll go for Bolt Strike. We'll go for Bolt Strike into the Incineroar because it will knock it out. If you go for a Fake Out, I don't know, with one of your Pokemon can Fake Out. I don't think this is double Fake Out. That would be really ridiculous. Maybe a Fake Out knockoff from Raichu into Incin, but we're just going to see the Fake Out into Zekrom and a Volt Switch. Alright. Will this even knock out my Fini? It knocks out my Fini, but I think that's actually better for me. I get a free switch in to my Hitmontop, and I get to click Fake Out, and I get to click Fusion Bolt into the Kyogre slot. There's nothing my opponent can do to prevent that. So Kyogre gonna come out here. I could also go for the Fusion. I could also go for the Bolt Strike and Incineroar, but I feel like going on to Hitmontop is better. Yeah, we'll go into Hitmontop here. And yeah, we'll just go for the Fake Out plus Bolt Strike. Although I feel like Kyogre is forced to switch out, right? I could target the Incin, but I'd rather get rid of Raichu or the Kyogre instead of the Incin, because I don't think Incineroar is just doing any damage to my team. So we'll go for Fake Out, and I know Fusion Bolt will be able to knock out the Kyogre, so we'll see what comes out here. We are going to see the Kyogre retreat, so we are going to see the Raichu come back out. No surprise. And then I think it's just going to come down to how this endgame is going to be played. We will get a Fusion Bolt off into the Raichu slot, which resists, but I mean, it's +1 with Magnet. So Raichu goes down. Raichu doesn't have the best physical defense stat in the world. That's knockoff going to go into my Zekrom. Doesn't KO because I do have that Intimidate as rain stops. And probably the worst timing. Let's see, Kyogre going to be brought out. I guess it's going to be realistically, what is that last move on the Kyogre? Because I think that's what this game comes down to. Because I just want to go for a Wide Guard. Because I feel like my opponent might just go for the last ditch Water Spout. I might as well just Wide Guard Protect here. Because Flare Blitz is not going to knock out Hitmontop. You have to target down the Hitmontop if you want to KO. I want to see what this Kyogre locks itself into. So we'll go for the Wide Guard here. We'll see what my opponent decides to do. It is going to be Water Spout. Okay, so I can just Fusion Bolt the Kyogre the following turn. I could also just go for the Fusion Bolt into Incineroar, but I don't think it's really worth it. We're going to see the Incineroar go for the Flare Blitz. Yeah, I wasn't going to KO. And we'll go for a Wide Guard plus a Fusion Bolt into the Kyogre slot. Yeah, and that's going to be game, because once I get rid of this Kyogre, I feel pretty good about my... Because even if Incineroar KOs one, you can't KO the other, and that means massive damage off. And once this rain wears out, I just am able to bring out my Powerhouse in Reshiram. I could also go for a Helping Hand Blue Flare. As... you know, we're going to see the Wide Guard. and Fusion Bolt. Maybe I should have went for the Bolt Strike though, because here's what I'm thinking. If you KO my Zekrom, we know the Incineroar is faster than my Hitmontop, so I guess that's a little bit of a concern as a critical hit on Kyogre. Actually, this game might not be over yet. But we're gonna see the Flare Blitz. Is that into the Zekrom? Wow. Okay, I think my opponent choked any chance of having the win there because of the Flare Blitz. I'm really confused to see Flare Blitz come out. Maybe expecting Kartana. Wanted to cover for Kartana? I don't know. I had no reason not to just Wide Guard and Fusion Bolt right there. But we'll go for the Helping Hand Fusion Bolt, and we should be able to knock out Incineroar at that range. So, yeah, I mean, this could have been a game. This actually could have been a really big game. But I feel like Reshiram might have been just able to come out as long as I hit a bunch of blue flares, but I don't know. I feel like this game could have came down. Also, my opponent got crits, I guess, but it would have came down to if my opponent got really lucky. I think I ended up getting pretty lucky because of the fact that, yeah, that timid Kyogre actually putting in a ton of work because of the fact that, well, it was good to know that it was Choice Scarf immediately right away, but I feel like I just didn't handle my opponent's Pokemon as well as I could have liked, because yes, I did get the knockout into the Zekrom. I mean, not Zekrom. The Yveltal was Zekrom immediately, which was pretty good for my team, but overall, just maneuvering against that Kyogre was a little bit troublesome, and it could have been like a really different game depending on like what moveset that was. Maybe if it was like a Scald Kyogre, if I went for Scald when I went for the Protect, maybe I should have just went for the Wide Guard right there, but I didn't know if he would lock in, because let's say you knock out my Hitmontop, at least I'm able to go out in the Reshiram, and maybe by the last chance of hope, I could hope for a double protect. I feel like maybe there were better ways to play that game 100%, but yeah, I feel like it wasn't the best played game that I could have done. Sky Drop also was interesting on the Yveltal because that's not a move we commonly see. But hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below, show some support. As well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social media, societies, and my channel, all that good stuff. If you want to check out my Patreon page and support the channel, it is linked down below, as well as the previous episodes. And be sure to follow my Twitch channel because awesome VGC 2019 live streams do happen there. We still haven't gotten the fusion combos off yet, but I'm hoping we at least get one in the series because it's actually really hard to pull it off. But hopefully we find one. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. Feel free to leave a comment down below as I do read them. Otherwise, have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.